Mr. Day, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Are we
All
live?
right. Yeah, I'm watching. I'm seeing like a video or something. Is that you?
Yeah,
Is it you
that's
that is?
that's it. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, hello
Can you?
everyone. Uh, Welcome back to this new live session. And today we're going to
Yeah,
talk about
I'm seeing like a video or something. Is that you? Is it you that is?
no code.
So, hello everyone.
Okay, so hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about this is the first time. I did no second time. Yeah, I'm doing this live collaboration with Frima Dojo, and we are specifically going to be talking about like how you can build no code components in Frima. Okay, so we're specifically going to be using for those of us that are scared that he's going to write code. No, I'm not writing any code by myself. I'm going to be using AI. So I'm going to be using ChatGPT as well as Claude AI to show you examples, right? Because of people have like different AI tools and how you can prompt them to learning this stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to open ChatGPT here now. Right. So these are ChatGPT, and I also have Cloud, right? So now we have like a couple of questions that we are going to be a couple of prompts that we're going to be giving Claude, and I just want to create something very simple. Say we want to create like a countdown timer. So we want to create like a countdown timer on the website. Let's say so you're building your website and you just want to create like a simple countdown timer. All right. So how then do we build something like this? And it's going to actually be counting down because by default, if I open my Framer now, so for those of us that want like the Framer app on our system, all you just need to do is come over to Framer, come to resources, scroll down, or no, scroll down all the way to the end of the website when under framer.com, and then you find what's it if you find desktop apps, click on desktop apps, and then now you can download whether it's for your Mac or for your Windows. Okay, so once you've downloaded that, you can go over, or you can just join with the website by coming over here, clicking on your account. Once you've created an account, you take it to an home page like this. So I have like different folders, right? So I have like different workspaces I use as well as the one that guest and client has invited me to. So if you have done that already, all you just need to do now is head over to what? New project. And now before I continue, I always like to take inspiration for websites from Dribble, Pinterest, and so on. So I'm just going to head over to Dribble, and I just want to see like an example of a countdown timer. So I'm going to say countdown landing page. So so I've seen a couple, right? I think I like this one. Very simple, straightforward, clean, right? So I'm just going to borrow this image just to inspire me for that. So I'm going to come over to Framer like this, zoom this in, paste it here. Okay. Please give me a moment. So these are my inspiration here. I'm going to go back again. Just one more inspiration, I think, and I should be fine. Click outside, scroll down, scroll down. Any other countdown timer here. Okay, so I think I like this kind of dark mood vibe, right? So I'm going to copy that as well. Okay, it's a video. So let me just take it back. So there comes. Yeah, so I have this now, right? So let's take that idea and implement. So for those of us that are new to Framer for the first time, what you can do now is with this, I'm just going to come. So this is like our canvas area, and then I'm going to come over to insert layout, and I can select a frame. So the idea of this frame is, if you look at this, it just have like maybe login and the logo here, right? So because we don't need a link, because like we're still building the website, but it's not live. All right. So I'm literally going to do that. So I'm going to take just two components now, right? And then one thing you want to do is make sure that you select this layout so that everything can stack in place. And notice that everything is stacked like to the top. So this one now can come over to layers and start naming it properly, because like it's good practice to name your element properly. All right. So I'm going to call this my navigation. So then I'm also going to take this one and call it my screen, or hero now, as it were. So now that I have this, I'm going to set this all the way to fill, and then it takes up the entire container. Now, fill in this case, in terms of setting sizes, is different from relative, right? And you're going to see what I mean shortly. So if I take this one and select this, and I say relative, and I say 100%, right? Notice that it goes out of screen. But however, if I select this one and take it to make it fill, notice that it just fills up the remaining space left. So that's the difference. Like one uses the actual percentage in relative to his parent, and one uses the actual percentage absolute to his parent. So now, when you have that now, what I can simply do is I can select this one. I can say, okay, you know what, just give me 60 for now. And then I'm going this one to be like few container. Okay. Then I don't want any space. Notice this white background here. So I don't want any space. Okay. So some of you may ask that, okay, what if I want to change the actual back of the canvas now? How can I do that? You can do that by simply coming to select fill, right? And you can just change just that. Okay. So let me see. Think I can. So now that you have that, what we can do next is so I like this dark background here that's going on. So I'm just going to try and implement the same thing. So I'm going to select my hero, right? Select this one, and I can switch to like different types of gradients. See? So I'm going to switch to this, right? Then what I want to do is I always like working like HSL, right? So that I can easily manipulate the numbers, right? Because it makes sense to me that way. So now if I want to make it black, what I just need to do is the H value is going to always be the same. However, this is the saturation. So like if I change this one to like 20, you can see that it comes over like the part of gray, and then if I change it to 100, it goes all the way back to this top here. If I change to say 0, so you can see it's the edge, and if I change it back to 100, should be all the way to this edge. Should be all the way to this edge here. So don't know what is happening there, but I think it's probably like a bug or something. So now then this one now is for how bright or how dark it is, while your saturation is how gray to how colorful it is. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So for this one, if you notice, I want this side to like be very, very dark. So I'm going to bring it all the way down, right? So I'm still on my 100, but it's all the way down now. So what you can do is you can also like flip things around here, like so, right? So then I'm going to bring it all the way down. So I'm still on my 100. I just want like something like maybe 6, right? Or 5 or 4. I'm going to give it 4 for here. And then for this second one here, so notice that it has like this kind of whitish portion here, right? So that's what I'm going to do. So for this whitish portion, all I just need to drag all the way somewhere here, right? So somewhere around here. Then now I can bring it all the way down. So just somewhere around like it's to the section where it's losing its color, right? And remember that this side is like the background is just white. So let's have it at that. So now that we have that, I noticed that if you look at this, there are like multiple ways in which you can try and achieve this, right? So what I noticed is that I'm going to set a padding. So I'm trying to add like, if you notice, there's this kind of like gray space around everything, right? So in order to achieve that, I can select this and set what we call a padding. So padding is the space inside the parent relative to the child. So now that I've set that up, you know what, let me just crank this thing up a bit. So I'm going to give it like 40. Okay, 40 feels too much. Let's do 25. So now that we have 25, I can literally select this, right? And then add a radius to it. So I'm going to give you like 40 and then add the same thing like 40 here. All right. So we're getting somewhere already. And you can quickly even preview it by clicking on plus here to see how it looks like. And you can even check it like on different kind of screen sizes. All right. So, and you can also like switch between here once you have other items in the camera. So when we want to make it responsive, I'm going to do that, right? Remember, it's just supposed to be like a simple countdown timer, right? So what I'm going to do is, so I have my days, my hours, my minutes, and my seconds. Okay, so there are multiple ways in which we can do this, but for this, in this case, we are going to be just taking it individually, right? And by taking individually, we can tweak it all the way to like to the most basic what's it called now? To the most basic element. All right. So now what I'm going to do is next is I'm going to give like an header. So 1, 2 for doing it all. So I can say you know what? I don't want to think too much. So I'm just gonna come over to Cloud. I say, Cloud, I am making a website on Framer, right now. I am thinking of writing an hero section title in Framer. The aim of the website is to showcase a time count, a countdown timer before we launch the actual website. So give me a title that bangs. Just very funny. So it's gonna give this, say the countdown is something big is coming. The countdown is on, something big is on. I love that already. So I'm gonna copy this, yeah, right? I'm gonna switch over here. As some of you be wondering, is this what is you are using as your code override? Not yet, right? I just using it to like generate text. Like you can use Cloud to generate your text, your title, your captions, become an SEO expert, literally. So, and you don't even have to think too much about like your copy and all like that. So if you want to change your color quickly, come over to, make sure you select your element, because like if you don't select anything, this place is going to be always be blank, right? So And mind you, this is your layer sections and this is your property section. So you'll be hearing me say layer section, property section, layer section, property section. So I'm going to select this, click on color, draw it all the way. Now, the interesting thing about Framer is that you can actually create styles. Yes, you can create styles. So you can click on this place, create styles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you can even like set the dark mode, which is very, very interesting. All right. So I'm going to take this one. I'm going to say what? I'm going to crack it all the way to what? Black. I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, I just made a blatant mistake. Yeah, I'm supposed to give like the name of the color style, right? So I can say something like you know what, so that it's more recognizable to me. So I'm gonna say, you know what, this is my text style 2 or text primary. So meaning so in terms of this, I'm trying to see like, okay, this is like the most vibrant text color in terms of the color usage I'm going to be working with, right? So now that I have this going for me, what I can simply do now is, so you can see I can switch between the two, right? And click on create. So now that I have that, I can select this and let me just type this a little bit very quickly. So I'm going to give it a 64. I'm going to make things tighter. So, and for those of us that like that love playing with our fonts just a little bit, you can actually do that here. So for now, I'm just going to make it bold, then not too bold actually, just semi bold. You know what, give me medium. Yes, then I'm going to tweak my letter spacing just a little bit. So now there's difference between working with EMs and pixels. If you're not really good with working with EMs, yeah, you can switch to pixels. But what EM is just all about is just saying that what is the default text size on that person's browser, and then it is now going to adjust to, it's going to adjust to it. So the default is usually like around 16 pixels. So pixel is all about how you size elements in your screen, right? Because all our screens are made of pixels. And depending on the kind of screen resolution or kind of device you're using, everything all boils down to pixels, whether you're using a mobile device, desktop, car screen, and so on and so forth. So in order to understand how pixels work totally, you're just going to work with me. I'm going to like -2 for now, right? So, and I can do like all the way to like -4, depending on the kind of style or vibe I'm going for. So, but now I'm just going to give myself like -2.8. No, it's too tight for me. It's 2.5. You know what? Let's give me -2.1. Yeah. So, or just -2, pretty much. All right. So now that I have that, what you can do is you can select this. And mind you, when I select and drag like this, people always talk about like it's very hard to design in Framer. It's because Framer gives you two ways of designing. It's either you design relatively to the parent space or absolutely to the parent space. How Framer is related to Figma now is where that Figma by default is you design things in absolute spacing or absolute space. While in Framer, you can either choose any of the two. Now, Figma will later introduce auto layout, and that auto layout is actually the relative space in Framer, right? So by default, I can select this and notice that when I scroll the way to the top, right, I want to pay attention to something here. Is the fact that there's nothing, you won't notice it now until you put it relative to a parent. So I'm going to select this and paste this in. And now you can see that this position is here. If I take it out again, you're not going to say anything. But if I bring it back relative to a parent, right, or inside a parent now, right, now you can see it. Okay. So now you have to make things tight and tidy, and you don't want to stress yourself. I always suggest that select your parent container and click on layout. Once you click on layout, you've actually converted every element inside it rather into what? A relative item. So if I click on this now, excuse me, you can see what? It's now a what? Relative item. So I'm going to select this, change this one to what? Fill container. And then let's just center things up. Okay. Because I'm feeling a little bit lazy, I'm going to switch it back to absolute so that I can have access to this little dot here. All right. And I can drag things all the way like this. You know what? I think this is too big for me. So I'm going to drop it like 48. Right? So something like this. Okay. So now that I have that, I think I'm going to set a min and max because of something. If I select this and I click on what is it? if I click on this one, okay, so yeah. So notice that if I change it back to relative, notice that it's now spanning to this width, all right? So which is exactly what I'm looking for. So next step, I'm just going to duplicate that, and then now I'm going to have like my huge timer, right? So now that comes to the next thing. So in layout, we have in layout we have frame, rows, column, grid, image, video, right? So now if you look at this here, now we have like this two items. So we have one, we have two, right? So that's what I want to do next. So so in order to actually achieve this now, what I'm simply going to do is double select this and just give it the number. So I'm going to just copy and paste 22, duplicate this, right? So some of you may be wondering, how do I take it a step further now? Okay, the way I'm going to take it a step further is by increasing this one all the way to the top. So I'm going to give it like, say, 100, right? Then for my open type, I always like having like stylistic set now. So like these are like different stylistic sets. So if I wanted to have like my numbers rounded, I like just what select this and it gives me like this. So even you can like play with different stylistic sets, right? So all the way to the bottom. So I'm gonna set no. So okay, this I'm gonna set it to no. The stylistic I'm looking for. So this is for whenever you're in 2, 3. So this is 0. I like how this 0 is looking like. What again? So just like when you look at all the sets, you can see the preview of like the letters is going to affect or the items is going to affect. So that's what I'm just trying to check out for. Yeah. Right. So if I scroll down again, you still have like different alternatives, right? Because we're dealing with numbers, so none of these alternatives concern me. So you can even literally see it like, so you have like 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are stylistic, but character variants now you can literally see. So these are your one is going to look like. I love that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, A, F, G. Not my problem. It's going to scroll the way down. And what again? Do I want a slide 0? Absolutely, yes. I love it. Do I want it tabular? That's you can see the kind of space. Yeah. So this is close. This tabular. Okay, let's use that. Do I want all of the other ones? Let's see, capital spacing. You're not going to tell the difference, right? Between Kenin and all of that, but like you can see the letter spacing and all. And then do I want scientific inferiors? No, right? Because I could have like maybe if I'm doing like H2 and I want to do like scientific inferiors, that's when that can work. All right. Other than that, I'm just going to select no. Okay. So I think my number is now in a good place I want it to be, right? Because I'm using inter. Not all font actually has this open type enabled. So I'm going to take this to and press shift and enter. What that gives me that it wraps this frame around it. Or you can simply come over to layout, which is the longer part. Select your row, select row, then you paste it in. You click on it. Click on row, drag it out, and you should have 2 rows. Then you can take each of the first element, place it in. I think this should be this, and then I think this should be this. So you can drag it and place it right in, right? So you can see that you're not going to send it. And the reason is because everything is set to absolute position. And in our canvas, we're starting from left to right. So in order to see it now, for this first one, I'm going to click on layout. And for the second one, I'm also going to click on layout. The way that I do that, AI is going to bring what everything into space. All right. And notice something again is that this is where we're not talking about like stacking. So what you mean by stacking is stacks is your direct relation to has direct relations to setting up your layout like this. Okay, so you could actually have a stack or a grid, right? So I noticed that even though I set it as a grid, it's giving me something like this. So I can set, so if I say I want it just be, just give me just one column, it's going to do this. So there are situations where you want to use grid and there are situations where you want to use stack, right? There are just different ways on arranging your layout dynamically without having to like knowing the exact numbers to fit it in. All right. So I'm going to select this, change this one from fill container to fit content, and it should be somewhere like this. Same with this. I'm going to take this and change it to what fit content. And then for the stack, I'm going to select this and change it to what fit content because that's what I actually want. So now that I have that going for me, I can literally take all this one all the way, duplicate it now, right? Then now I want to have this stack here. All right. So what I can do is I can select it all the way to the top to here, and then right click, add stack. So I've showed you like two different ways in which you can add frame or stack. All right. So with this now, I'm just going to call this one time. It's always good practice to like name your frames. So I'm going to call this is going to be my hour and my minutes. No. This will be day, hour, minutes, and seconds. Yeah, easy peasy. So now I'm going to pick this. Then now we're going to be going to like looking into the direction. So that's why like I specifically pick this as program to get you started easily on Framer. So I'm going to change this direction to this, and now we have this. Okay. So notice that there's nothing here, right? But I kind of like the vibe of what I'm seeing here, right? With these icons and all. So I want to like try and achieve that exact same thing with this. Okay. So I'm going to take this background color again. So I have like this kind of blue hue on it. So, and again, you notice that it's just like limited to this portion here. So that's where you can now begin to use radial gradient. So I'm going to select this one. It's going to be my what? Radial gradient. Then I can pick this and take it all the way to the top like so, and then take this little bar here and close it, just watching, and then I can bring this on and bring it just slightly down. So now that I'm comfortable with that, what I want to do is I still want to like take the darkness down. So I'm going to give myself like maybe 20 or 18, like so. Then I want it to be slightly more darker. So I'm going to just shift over to like the darker variant of my blue. So something like blue. All right. So then I'm going to take this same number. So let's just make it 220 because that's my U. I'm going to select the other dot like so, and then change this one from 219 to 220. So that should be darker now. So now that I have that going for me, so let's remove this background. So if you look at this place here now, okay, so we have to do individually. Let's see why it's not going away. So I'm just going to do this, remove this. You know what? Let me just do this, right? And then remove the color. Cool. So again, when you are designing, you always want to like aim for contrast, right? Because the design is just going to be all over the place, right? So how do you achieve that? So I'm going to select 1, 2, 3, 4, come over here. Then my size in here, right? I could use the golden ratio formula. So divided by 1.618, press enter, and I think let me divide it one more time. So I'm going to do it just one more time. So divide again by 1.618. So I think Figma should actually like try and fix their okay, or just round up this item. So I think let's just give it around the ballpark of 20. Select this, and this, make it 20. All right. So now that we have this, so I'm going to pick all of these containers now, right? So the interesting thing that you can also quickly do with Framer is that you can literally copy and paste properties that you've set, styling properties that you have set. So I'm going to right click on this, click on copy style, right? And then I can select this and paste the what style, right? So I think I did on the wrong item. So I'm going to select this and paste style. Yeah. So we should have something like this, right? It's looking good already. So with that now, I can also take this one, this, right? Just right click again and then paste style, right? Or use the shortcut. But notice that we're not like totally there yet. So we have like this kind of full-on light and this. So I'm not trying to like recreate it one-to-one. I'm just like taking ideas from it. Okay. So there's that. Then the next thing I want to do is I just want to add the little bit of shadow or shine just to the bottom. So how do I do that? I'm going to select the container again, right? I want to first play with the height a bit. So what I can do is I can select this folder to have access to like all the full padding now, okay? Or I can manually just set a fixed height for myself. But in this case here, I'm just gonna set this, and I want this to be so let's just give it 20. Let's say it's gonna look like, and then I want the bottom to also be 20, right? Then now I want to add some shadows, right? So, but before the shadow, let's add a bit of border, and therefore border for now, Framer has not given us the ability to like have border as gradient. So if you want to do that, you have to like duplicate it and then play with your absolute position and adjust that. If you want to see that in another video, please, you can leave a comment section or send a mail or go to Framer Dojo Instagram page, like send a comment to them or a DM to them, and they're going to give me an update regarding that. So with that being said, now what I want to do is I just want to adjust this container just so slightly. Then I'm gonna give this border radius like maybe 8, the color like 8, right? Because like I said, I like working with HSL. Though I like how it appears visually on Figma compared to this, because like HSL, when you're working with HSL, it actually appears very, very different from the way Framer is showing you right now. So I have this, right? So what I want to do is I just want to add that shadow. So in shadow, you have your inner shadow, outer shadow, right? So what I'm going to do is I just want the shadow to be inside. I'm going to crank up the color now just so that I can see exactly what I'm doing for now. Let's see, give me 100%. Then I'm going to go back. Then, so if you want the shadow to like come from the bottom, you have to start working with minus. So I'm going to give myself like -10. So I have this, right? Cool. So what I'm going to do is I can make it realistic. So immediately I make it realistic, see how it gives me like this kind of clean shadow without even stressing myself, which is what I like already. So I'm just going to change this one to -10. This. All right. So what I think I just need to do a little bit is to tweak my white color just on it. So instead of having like 100%, so I can work with this to make it slightly more gray, or I can just play with opacity, which is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give myself like okay, you know what? Let me make this 100, right? Bring this all the way down somewhere around here, just something slightly grayish, right? So let's see. So let's preview it. Not bad. So now that we have that, I'm gonna select this again. Then I'm going to copy style, then take all of this and then paste the style, right? Like so. All right, I think we're getting somewhere here now. So now that we have all of this in place, next thing we can go on to do is, I think this shadow is a little bit too much, or let me just tweak this vibrancy just slightly. No, wrong one. Oh, this is why. 220. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, 220. No, that's not it. 2, 3. Yeah, yeah. I think it's too dark. No, let's just make it 4. Yeah, because like in order to make the color sit harmoniously, right? We have to like make sure we are aiming for that. So now that we have something big is coming and all like that, we just want our element to breathe, right? So how do we achieve that? So I'm going to select this container again, and you can see where we have gap. I can like crank this all the way to the top like so. All right. So for me, I always like like different visual elements and all like that in our design. So do what I mean. So I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to right click, copy the style, then wrap a stack around it, right? Then once I have that, I'm just going to paste that style, right? So once I pasted my style now, should be there. Okay. What I want to just do is, again, instead of width, I'm going to set a fit content, and this I'll just give you like something straightforward, so I can have literally just this countdown is on, So you can see this, right? You know what, for now, I'm just going to give it not a radial, but this time it's going to be linear. Okay, so then this one, I just want to like use it to underscore the elements. So 16, and then obviously your letter pixels 0 should be fine. You want to make sure your text is set to fit, right? And you know what, I'm going to do this that way. So flip it on its side. Yeah, just slightly. You know what, let me make it radial and bring the darker part in the middle. Stretch it all across. Open it up. Yeah. Then just a little bit of padding so it can breathe. So top 10, bottom 10. You know what? 8, 8. And then this could be 16, 16. Yeah. So like I'm basically like walking you through not just like writing code alone, but like also like showing you the styling that you can do, right, with Framer, right? All of like the possibilities that you can do with Framer. So you can see now that our design is looking more put together. So yeah, this one I'm going to bring this one here. So something big is coming. Um, uh, stay tuned or watch out. Let's do watch out. Watch out. Okay. So now that we have that here, again, I don't want this one to conflict with this one, so I can literally just crank it down a little bit. So maybe 32. No, yeah, 32 seems fine, but the letter spacing seems weird. So I'm just gonna fix that very quickly. Yeah, something big is coming. Watch out, right? So the next thing I want to do also play with a little bit is our line height. So notice that like as I'm selecting this, right, the line height is increasing or reducing, right? So I'm going to reduce just the line height to somewhere I like. So 1.45 seems just fine. You can make this medium italic or semi-bold. Yeah. So again, I don't want these two to be far apart, right? So layout, and now I'm using shortcuts. So fit content, 24, right? And yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there. Almost there. Almost. So now I actually want this to like be in the center, right? So you know what? Let me bring this one down. So how I can make it be in the center is this one. Let me just make it a straight line. How do I do that? Okay, the width now. I'm gonna change this one to fit content, so it should be a straight line, and then change this one to also fit content. So there are two ways I can do it. I can duplicate this, right? And then I can like select all the elements inside here. So make sure that this is set to fixed height. Anyway, delete your content. And then you can call this one spacer. All right. So that this timer is actually like the one in front and center. Okay. So what I want to do is like once they've seen the timer and all like that, obviously don't want to just come like empty-handed. So I can literally just make this a button. So I'm going to paste this one here, right? And then in this case here now, I'm literally just going to make this one white. So white, where do you go? White, right? So and then this one, I'm just going to say, you know what? Join waiting lists. All right. So now, with that being said, so I'm going to take this one and then change it to black. So, but the issue now is that whenever you're designing like your call to action button, it should be like the thing that stand out the most. So how I can make this one stand out with like it not being weird, right? Is I'm still going to retain like part of the white, but in the gradient part now, I'm literally going to introduce the same color values that we used. All right. So how do I achieve that? So let me just pick this. I just need this one here. So that's the U value. So that's what I just want to adjust here a bit. So for my radial, just gonna pick just one. Oh, I don't like why this is. All right. So now that I have this, I can bring it to the bottom. So no, let's just have linear. Then flip it on the side. Yeah, then for this one, it's gonna be pure white. I can bring it all the way down. Yeah, so it feels like a little bit like 3D. Then again, how they're like other ways because the thing that the idea is that you have to make sure that it stands out. If it doesn't stand out, then you've not done anything. Uh, yeah, so let me just tweak. Let me add the visual shadow. Realistic. Gonna give just something that I can see for now. Outside, bottom. So it's not showing. So let's set this to fit and then make sure that our overflow is set to visible. So because sometimes when your overflow is set to hidden, it's going to hide the elements in it. So you don't want that. So let's make this on 100 so you can even see our shadow. All right, so our shadow is there. So somewhere around here, right? So like I said, whatever you have to do just to make sure that your element comes out like very, very bright and shiny, right? So for me, this button is actually too big. So let's just change that very quickly. So 12, waiting list. What do I need again? Let me just take like a flat single color. See, solid. Yes, not bad, not bad. So you know what? Let me switch it back. But this time around, I'm going to use this. Take this and bring it back here. Then make this white. Yeah, that sounds out very well now. So even when you zoom out, apart from like seeing 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, you're also going to see the button clearly. So I'm gonna add a bit of border, make it white. I think adjusting the padding so much not be a bad thing. So let's base it on, you know what? Let's give it 14, 20, 14, 20. Yeah, yeah. I think we're looking more put together. Now that we have this here, so again, we could have like our logo. So I can come over to, so in the coming months, Framer is going to come like with different plugins. So I'm beginning to select very, very interesting plugins, and you should watch out for that. So yeah, I'm just going to take Framer's templated navigation menu because I'm feeling lazy. Then I'm going to drag that and bring it all the way in. Right. So we have like just the Framer logo as well as this element here, right? So in this case here, I literally don't need, so I'm going to detach it. So this is a component. We are looking at code component and not actually like actual components, at least for this class. So I'm going to pick this and set it to fit content like this, cut that out, then paste in place, right? And we have this, okay? I literally don't need that border, so I'm going to take it out. All right. And then I'm going to copy this and paste it here, right? But this time I want a space between them, and that's where your distribute comes in. So I'm going to select this and then say space between. So I want a large amount of space between them. So, let's take Framer back. So now that we have that, change the fit content and we should be quite good, right? So for this one, I literally don't want it to conflict with this one, like, because having two buttons, like, so either you pick one, or what you can do is you can give like you can have like a second kind of button style. So I'm gonna take this one, just make it white, a little bit of stroke, right? A little of like dark outline stroke should do good. So I'm gonna give it somewhere around here. Then work with my shadows to give me something a lot more realistic. So um I'm gonna pick this time around. I'm outside, right? I'm setting position outside. Then my Y is going to like something like maybe 4. Then my radius is something that is visible. I set the blur to 10, and then here now I can like tweak the opacity a little bit, so 80. So again, mind you, if your element is set to absolute overflow hidden emit, not show, right? So here now I just need to tweak the shadow to like get somewhere around comfortable. Then for this button outlines feels too strong, so I'm just going to tweak my opacity a bit, something around 20, right? Then I'm seeing a line border here. Let me see, where is it coming from? Yeah, that's taken out. Then for my blow, I really don't want that much blow actually. And then now the good thing I like about spread is that spread allows you to either increase the size of the blow or not. So if I say give me -2, so you notice the edges, right, is reducing. So if I say give me -5, right, and then I can take this one like to all the way to like -10, and then it comes out like just at the bottom, it makes your shadow comes out nicer, right? So this one I'm gonna have at 16, and then because I'm feeling a little bit lazy, I'm just gonna give it, yeah, and just call it maybe contact us. Yeah, yeah, so something around this, right? Then again, just a little of padding on the bottom, so maybe 40. Yeah, 40. And then for the fixed eye, I can set to fit content, and it should give me something around there, right? For this one now, what I can do is for my padding top, just give me 0. Yeah, because like this one already has like its own padding already, so there's no need to add that extra one. So now we've come to the part of the session where it's going to be very, very interesting. That is using the actual component that we actually came for. So, but before that, let's add just some bells and whistles. So if you come over to assets, you can see some of the assets we've created already. Textile, text primary, navigation we imported from Framer. Also again, so you come to insight, you can come over all the way to creative, and mind you, Frame ID has like a countdown already here for you, right? So we're not like totally creating this. I'm just showing you like how you can actually create this, right? How you can actually recreate all of these things, right? So in this case, I'm not going to be using showing digits, type, number, just hours, minutes, seconds, and probably tabular. Yeah. So because notice I'm not using like dots or anything like that. So this is gonna be this is gonna be hours. Then you've got seconds and no seconds and then minutes. So for me, the letter spacing is actually a little bit tight here. So I can have it like maybe -1. Yeah, that feels a lot more better now. So now that you have that, again, I'm just going to drop the opacity just ever so slightly. And mind you, once you adjust like anything here, you are no longer using this style. Okay, so we probably want to introduce like maybe a text secondary color, something like that. So if I give it like 60, right? So notice that out of the box, it's no longer connected to this, right? You can see it here. So if I want it connected, all I can do is I have to like create another style and then call it maybe text secondary. All right. So now that we have that, the next thing we can just simply go on to do now is adding the little fluff I was talking about earlier. So if I come over again to creative, so you can add your text, you can add your scribble, you can add wave pattern, or you can add noise pattern. So which is what I'm going to do, because if you look at this one here and you zoom in, like I zoom very well, it's kind of like noise pattern going on. Okay, so I'm not sure you can see it from my screen, but okay. So next thing is, now remember what I talked about, like really something very relative to each other, absolute to each other. So I'm going to go back to absolute position, change this one to 0, give this one 0, and then make sure that you pin it all the way like this. Okay, very important. 0, 0. So when you do that, it covers the entire screen, right? And again, the interesting thing about Frame is that you can actually add what we call blend mode, right? So this is blending now. And you can see like the noise is here already, but like because I blended it now, it's kind of like blends with the background color. If I want it to stand out more, I can always like change like different blend modes. So I have color burn, so this color burn, this lighting, right, screen, color dodge, right? I think I'm liking this color dodge. Overlay, soft light, add light, exclusion, saturation, right? So you can see it. Color, you won't see it. And then luminosity, back to the big one, right? So in this case, we are going to use color burn, right? And then what I want to do is that I want to now set the index, right? So I'm going to change this one from 1 to 0, like this. Okay, so it just is it is now staying like literally at the back of everything, just before the container. But notice now that our blue element is now like totally very vibrant. So the good thing is that if I come back to layers and I select where to go, okay, so let me name it very quickly. So you can say it's just an image, right? And we have like different kind of image types. All right, so it's just an image, and like I said, like just different image types. So again, let me just undo that very quickly. And then now I have it to set to color. Let me change it back to multiply. Yeah. Okay, then so once it's on multiply, I can change this on to 0. Yeah, it should bring. So I like how the noise is. All I just need now is just to tweak the color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and lock it, right, so that I can have access to like other things. So what I want to do is I'm just like shifting the U value now to something darker. So instead of 4, if I take it all the way to 0, right, now everything now begins to sit well. But I'm going to give it just 1. No, let's just have it as 0, 0. So that's like full on black, right, with a little bit of color. So not this one, this other one. Yeah, 0. One more. 0. Yeah. So we're getting somewhere already. So now that we have this now, and we now have like the noise in the design already. So changing this one to 0. Yeah, yeah. So that looks where it needs to be. I think the space here is too much. So maybe 25. Yeah. Let's have everything as 25. Yeah. No, right and left should be 0. Yeah, so let's preview this. So notice that I'm scrolling down, right? But if you look at this one here, I don't literally need to scroll down, right? It could be cut off or something, but like I don't need to scroll down. So what I can do is I can literally select this one now. Now, mind you, I'm just going to style this one like just a little bit differently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this one to absolute position. So it comes up. Then add what we call a Z index, right? So I'm going to make it 2. Okay. And this two now I'm going to give it, say, a background color so we can see whether it's working or not. All right. And then now I can make this one maybe 20. Okay. I think there's something covering it. Yeah. So again, you want to do your left and your right. In this case, I set my first padding to 25, so I'm just increasing to like 50, 50, like this. Right. And notice that all of these are checked. The bottom one, don't check it, but if you check it, you have to put a number there. Right. So and this one is set to 50, right? No, 25. No, should be 50 so that this all over can now be 25 like this. Then what I want to do now is this part is actually outrageous now. So I'm going to change it to like 20 for all, round off those corners. Like so. It feels a little bit out loud. So let's just bring it down ever so slightly. Yeah, somewhere around here seems fine. Okay. So we can quickly change the color of our item by double clicking. We are using an SVG, so you have the part. When you double click, you can quickly switch the color out. Right. So something like this, right? Now the button feels like too huge. So and then the padding again, I could give like maybe 8. Right. Then you know what, let's just keep things close. So cell space between, let's just say center. And then for this padding, let's just remove this. Let's just change this to fit content. And notice that it changes automatically. So what we want to do is we want to center the element like this. All right. So once you center it, you should have something like this. Right. Let me just leave it the other way. Yeah. So now let's come over to fixing this, and then we can call this class a close. The padding here now, so I have should be 25, no, 0, 8, right 8, then left 25, then bottom 8. Yeah. So now for this case here, right, what we can now do is we can now start adding the code override, right? So now I'm going to come over to ChatGPT. Give me a second. Yeah. So this is ChatGPT now, right? But before I talk about ChatGPT, you need to learn a little bit about like code, right? So it's only going to be like a 2 minutes session now. So this one now in this case here is going to be if I come over here, come over to Framer, right? Everything that you need to learn in code, you don't even actually need to know the code. The things that you need to know, the names that they are assigned to, right? Very important. You need to know the names that are assigned to. So how do you do that now? Is you can just go on Google and search for Framer development developer page, something like that. You should see, yeah, this one. So Framer developers. So when you get over here now, I advise you that just all you just need to do is just read all of these items, right? So read about components, right? Watch videos on them. So you can see this is what we're literally talking about, like writing code components, right? So you can watch video on them, know what we property controls are, auto sizing is, and then how you can share whatever your element is. So it's always good practice to like do that. Then you have like different examples, right? Seeing your property controls, right? Because I'm going to be calling this property control. I don't want it to look weird. All right. So that's like if you go through all this place, you'll be able to like really figure out and understand what it means. Like it's very easy to read and understand, right? So we're not going to be going to like everything. All right. We're just going to be picking it um as a code override. We're not even building the code components now. We're building just code override for this class. So very quickly now, I want to assign the actual values to this element in code, right? And then I want to be able to I just want to assign like these values in code, right? Or I want to be able to what's the word now? Set a code override, right? That I can easily adjust based on like the time or date and all like that. So what I can quickly do is I can literally have all of this here, and then I can come over to ChatGPT now and say, where do you go? Okay, so I'm using I was using the Framer Pro plan, but it's still allowing me to like work with it. I switched to like cloud. So if you don't have access to this thing, I'm going to send you like a set of a bunch of keywords, or now you can train ChatGPT or cloud to work with Framer like writing Framer codes easily, or you can literally just type it manually. So for example, you can see, give me a live clock, give me a progress bar, a skew, and all like that. So yeah, now I'm going to say, I want you to build a code override for a countdown website. The countdown timer is what you need to focus on. Like just saying something as it comes to your mind. So I want to be able to set a code override for time, for day, hour, minutes, and second individually. Individually. What again? Individually. So when you do that, click on send. So it's going to work its magic now and create all the elements for you. So based on what I'm seeing here, it's showing what's the word now? Based on what I'm seeing here, it's actually showing a code component. And what I want is a code override, but we're going to test it out as a code component and as a code override. All right. So now if I come over here and click on so once it's done, if I come over here, if I scroll back up and click on copy, scroll back to this section here now. So I can select any of them. So come over, you can see where we have like code override. I'm going to create a new file, right? And this override, I'm just going to call it count timer. Something I can recognize. Okay. And then select all of this and paste it in. I know it should give me an error. So if I select this now, can see that it's not showing up here. Why? And that's what I'm saying. Like it's seeing it as a code component instead of a code override. All right. So now if I come over here to, however, if I click on asset, come all the way down, right? So let me just for now create a new example and say, you know what, count timer v2, right? Paste that one in and save. So it should load up here. So if I go back home now and drag my count timer v2, so I have something like this. So you can see I have my days, my time, my hours, and my minutes. So if I can do 10, 10, 10, 10, like so. So if I change this one to fixed and make it 100, 500. Let's see. So now, whenever you run into any form of issues, you can always like tell ChatGPT or Claude that it's not showing, it's not working, and all like that, right? So first off, what I want to do is that let me first achieve what I want to achieve. So I'm going to say, so it's not working as a code override. What I want is a code override. Again, just to a code override to affect my days, hours, minutes, second. So and then you just wait, right, for it to think. Now, if I try this and it's not working, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to literally send it a screenshot and tell it that I want it to implement that screenshot. So yeah, now let's try it again. Let's create a new file. I'm just going to call it different test versions now. So test v001, copy, paste it in, save. Let's go back home. Let's see. So it's not showing up, right? So it's still seeing it as a component, right? So I'm going to come back again and then now I'm going to take the screenshots. Select this here, right? And then now I want to be able to make these numbers count down using Framer code override. So it's still giving me as a component. I don't know why it's giving me as a component. It's supposed to give me as an override. So I think I have to like tweak it individually. So let's do that. So I'm going to copy this new file. You know what? I still have my test VO1, so I'm just gonna paste that in, save it. Let's go back. Nope, system as a component. So let's drag this one to this space here. See, press play. All right. Let's come back here. So let me show you an example of a code override that I mean. So something like this. So I'm going to come to example. Take all of this just to like jog its memory. All right. So when you do that to jog its memory now, it should be able to like try and readjust itself to fix whatever it's supposed to fix, right? So sometimes you always want to do like, so like I said, you need to treat like your assistant, and then you keep trying over and over and over again, right? Till it figures how to do it properly. Okay. So I think like it's not a lot more confused. So give me a second here. You know, take this, paste it in, save. Let's see. Nope, still not working. Drag it to this. So let's do it hours. Interesting. So let's preview it. Hmm. Okay, you know what? Let's start with something very basic, right? So then we build from there. So you know what? I'm just gonna say get today's dates, today's today's date, and create a code override to show just just the date, just the day in the month. Okay, let me switch. So this, sometimes we can also like try and switch. So I'm going to switch to what's it called now? To cloud, because ChatGPT is not giving what I'm looking for. So let's switch to cloud. So first thing first is um I want to create a code override for a text element in Framer. I want to show, I want the override to show the day in the months. So I'm going to copy this one now. I don't think this is correct, because this is like a or maybe I'm the one that is actually doing it wrongly. Yeah. So let me paste this one in. Save. Yeah. Everything is wrong. I'm on live session. Yeah. Everything is wrong. Yeah. Yeah. See. Yeah. It just keep looping forever. So it said error local module not found. So let me bring this one back outside. So for now, I'm just going to delete all these other elements here. So for those of us that want to know like where exactly this code component override. So these are, I'm just going to like use this example for us many times trying to like figure out this one. So if I click on this example now, notice that it has seen it here, and then for the override now, I can pick like different kind of override functionality. So it's like with over, random call, and so on and so on. So with over, if I preview this and I click on it, notice that like it increases in size. And if I go back to like click on edit code, right? You can see that we have with rotate, with over, and then with over now you can see that it just gives you like a simple function where you can just increase the size of that particular element. So I'm wondering why so let me tell Claude like this is an example. So this is an example of how override code is written. So with that now, you should be able to create something. I doubt if this will work, but let me copy this, because this one too is seen as a component. I'm just gonna select all of this and paste it here, save it, press hit play, should give me an error. Yeah, thought as much. So but if I go back home now and try and select with date display or with format toggle, still not going to work. So let's just preview this now. So now it's showing today's date, right? So this is how simple it can be. So notice that it's giving me like this kind of, if I do it with date format toggle and I click on preview now, so it's not going to do anything. So if I go back to with date display and click on preview, right? So you have the day is not showing wrongly, because it's also like so to show you 7, but it's showing you something wrong. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to like create a new file again. So I'm going to remove this, come over to code override. I'm going to set a new file. This time around, I'm going to call it so just test again v001. Click on create. So now that I've created this now, it always give me like a boilerplate of example, right? So what I'm going to do instead is, if I go to v001, I have all of this set before, right? So I'm just going to clear everything here, come back to cloud, copy it, and then paste this one in place like so. Then it's saved, right? By pressing Command S on my keyboard. So if I do that now, I can see that I have what with date display. If I click on plus and play, it should show me today's date. Now I can take it further, like I can say, you know what, just show me. So instead of like what I'm showing you now is that I'm only just showing you how code override is working. So the issue is that code override, when you are working with code override, you do not have access to creating what's it called now? You do not have access to like editing the component a bit, right? So that is where you can use code override. So I'm going to come back again. So like now, like now that I'm trying to achieve like a countdown. So let me just show you quickly. So if I click on plus countdown, drag it in, right? Notice that I can only style everything like from within this space, right? So if I want to like do anything super fancy, right? So if I want to say I want to do something like anything super fancy, I cannot do that. Okay. So or because I cannot edit that, I have to like do everything within just this limited item here. All right. Compared to code override, where if I have this code override now and I set to do this, I can design my elements whichever way I want to design. Again, remember, if I go back to preview it, you can see I still have my 7 my day 7 here. So if in order to add hours, minutes, and seconds, so I'm going to go back and say, okay, I can come over here and say, okay, this is good. So let me just read the instruction it gives here. So it said we import the necessary function, date, month, or year, then add a software animation that scales for every 5 seconds. Okay, it did that. And then with date format toggle allows cycling through different formats. Oh, that is day, month, and year when clicked. Okay. So if I come back here now, so it it's supposed to change. Why it's not changed? Okay, I think it's with date format toggle. So if I click on this and click on with date format toggle, click on plus and go back, come back in. It's not working. Let me come back here, preview. Okay, I think that makes sense now. So we did display, click on plus, cycle. So let me reload. Yeah. So we have that. So first thing is I can tell you to remove with date format toggle. I don't need it. So remove with date format toggle and property controls. Then so let's copy this again and then paste it right in here. So click here, Control V S. So select this, we did display. Let's preview that. So we have the level, right? So again, the next thing is can you give me override components? So can you add override components for hours, minutes, and seconds? So why I like Cloud is that in terms of writing code, I don't know, it's kind of like a bit faster than ChatGPT. So it's going to give you all of that, and then you can copy and you can literally come back to your code components and then paste. So paste that, save, go back home. So now I can have this. So I have like with hours display, second, and all like that. So this is with day, this is with hours. With hours, then next one with minutes and with seconds. Right? So when you preview it now, so you have 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and so on and so forth. So this is how I've been able to like easily like set the date and the time for a calendar, right? So now the next thing is if we want to change this to a countdown timer, right? In order for us to change this to a countdown timer now, the way we can now do this is by introducing the code component, but it's not going to and once we introduce it as a code component, it's not going to work the way it is working right now, right? It's not going to look the way it's working right now. So that one I'm just going to try and do. So I'm going to delete this. So preview it one more time, right? So we have our what? So our time. So we can just change it to like, okay, you know what? This is our time. So the time is the date and time is right. There's only for this section here. We are good. All right. So when you preview that, you have what the date and time is, and then it shows you dates you 10 in the morning, 4 minutes, 29, 30 seconds, because of where I'm recording from. All right. So now that you have that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to pages here, right click or select this and just make it this page. Okay. So I'm going to call this one countdown, right? So this countdown now, I cannot break them up like this. It has to be like one unified component. Okay. So what I'm going to literally just do is I'm going to create a full code component that just shows a countdown timer. So I'll say good. Now create a full code component and not a code override with property controls so that I can set a countdown date and everything gets dynamically updated. All right. So also add font styling and every other thing that I need in order to tweak or to tweak the code and work majorly from the Prima UI in terms of styling and functionality. Okay, so code, let me close this. Yeah, and send. So now that I've sent that, I just need to do is wait for it. So now it's going to create everything, props, timer, and so on and so forth, and just wait for it to style. So what I was talking about, like if you look at this particular section, you can see like all of this styling and all like that. Now I can actually set all these ones to property control, and I think it has done that already, but let's just copy this, right? So we're going to come over here. This time around assets, we're going to create a new file. So I'm going to call this test underscore count down, test countdown. Let's go V001, create, select this, paste this in, save, right? And you have this out of the box immediately. So if I come over to countdown, pages, home, where is it? Countdown timer. I can literally come over to asset, drag it in like so, and there you have it. Right. So if I click on preview now, so I have like my timer and everything and all like that. Now, if I go back home, literally you can see that I have different labels here. I have my font, I have font size, I have background, I have my width, I have my height. So I can like literally set the width, the height, right? I can select the end date of what I want. So if I want it in day 19, you can see like it automatically gets updated by not writing any single code. Now, if you are not probably wondering that, okay, how can I style it exactly the way it looks like on the home page? Simply put, we just need to go back to your home page, take a screenshot of exactly how you want it to look like, and then you can put as much explanation as possible. So first of all, you want to give like, okay, so this works well. However, I want the default styling to look like this. Paste it in to look like the image. All right, then you click send. So it's going to try as much as possible to modify the styling based on what it sees. So it's not going to be like totally or accurately correct, but it will be very, 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 very close. Okay, so once you have that, you just need to do is copy. So in this case here, so that I don't break things too much, I'm just going to duplicate this, right? And this time I just want to rename this to V002. So that's the way I'm like able to keep track of all my code as I'm writing and updating it. So I think I did like good practice. Okay, so I've pasted that in and I've saved it in. All right, so I'm going to take this one out now, and then I'm going to bring this one in and see, just like that. So it looks very, very close to it already. And again, you can adjust your width, your height, right? So we have this, so you can say that this is like where the black color is. So you can say maintaining the radius and all of those things, right? So notice, for example, now there's no radius here. You cannot affect the radius and everything. So you can start telling it, okay, so if you look closely, or you know what, say, here are the stylings you missed for the you missed in the property control. Shadow, radius, and I think just shadow and radius, okay? And also auto sizing, right? Yeah, and also auto sizing. So it sent. Again, it's going to apologize, give you an updated code, right? And you can see the code on the right. Unlike ChatGPT, that is everything just on a straight line. So I love using Claude more. And I think I made a tweet recently that I actually changed. I switched from ChatGPT fully to Cloud, because I feel like it's easier for me to like interact with it or something like that. So I'm going to come back here again, duplicate one more time, rename this to V003, right? Select everything, paste that in, save. Yeah, and this is why like you always want to like create more and more elements. So I know that is this auto animate state. So if I cut that out and turn this part off, no, undo that, just take this part out. Let me just turn this part off. Yeah, so it said time left is not defined. Time left not defined. Okay, let me just undo everything. Yeah, then I can come to this arrow here and click on this, right? So drag all the way to the top. Then I can just select and copy all my errors. So far, so good. Copy it, just press Ctrl C because you won't see it, and then paste it. Say, here are the errors. And again, you can say, yeah, the errors, right? And then click on send. So it will look at the errors and try and figure out a fix for all the errors, right? And update them accordingly. So that's what it's trying to do here now. I remember when I was learning how to code, this usually takes me like forever initially. But now, see, everything is blue, means that what? No error there. So I'm going to come over here, click and drag all the way to this place. And here we have this now. So I think now I can affect my radius the way I like. Can you see it? For my box shadow, I don't know why it's not heading. So let me see how box shadow works normally. So let me just create a frame. So like again, you always want to give like actual things to work with so that it gives you like something better. So I know that, okay, so it's not using my shadow component property. So so I'm going to select this, click on shadow, and I'll tell you that this is how the shadow component um property looks like. So I said the box shadow property is wrong. It should look and behave exactly like Freeman. Okay, paste that in, and again send. So like giving it the visual images as well as text, it always makes it like give you like something way much more better. All right. So you can drop off if you want to, because I know like it has taken a couple of hours to get this stuff done. But this has given like an idea of how you can actually build code component and code override, right? And then you can just, all you just need to do, just keep doing is now you're just tweaking all your elements. So notice that like I can have like all of these versions, right? So I can easily go back and check, okay, I think my version 9 is working or my version 10 is not working, something like that. So if I can drag this one in like so, and let's see, box shadow. So they give me like box color. Okay, so this is my box color. Let's see, background is wrong. Label color. Okay, so this is label color. Font size for the number. Oh, it's just killing everything. What again? Yeah. So that's it. So thank you so much, guys. You've seen how you can like create components. So you just need like keep tweaking and tweaking and tweaking till you and give like all the necessary instructions that you need to give it in order to like give you exactly what you need. Okay. So maybe at a later time when Framer maybe see this video and see that, okay, there are better ways to like implement code components so that they can actually work hand in hand um with text, or giving code override actual extensions so that we can actually tweak it directly, like having all of these tools, right? But with an element that is a code override is going to make designing with code component even much more interesting. So thank you so much, guys, for hanging out and coming. Please do have a wonderful time. Cheers.